Hello, Heath.
Hi, mate.
What's going on here?
If there's ever a setup for the comments, this is it.
Yep.
Clamping a piston with a G-clamp.
Wow.
I'm sure we've shown this before, mate, and they absolutely love this.
It's a nice bit of vibration in that plate there.
Oh, yes.
Very good.
Could all go horribly wrong at any time. But fortunately, we've done the inlets. So, it's one of those setups, mate, and whatever works.
Well, yeah.
At the end of the day.
It works.
I've got to skim a tiny bit off the top of the pistons anyway to get the proper compression ratio. So,
yeah,
it works. So this is what we're doing. The customer supplied these. He's going to be building the engine. We've just got to do the machining. So we've bored the block, 0.5, skim the top of the block. Now this is an original piston, but it's going, got a feeling it's going supercharged or something like that. So it's slightly lower compression. Now these pistons are out of a 5-valve cylinder head. So the original pockets are those two, which are the exhausts, and then one for the inlet here, because you obviously got 3 valves on the inlet. Yeah. But he's using it with a 16-valve head, so we are replicating the pockets. So you've got the 2 inlet ones here, which I've done first, look. So they are pretty much exactly the same as those now. And I've got to turn around and just do the exhausts. Cool. So we're going to have another sort of set of exhausts here, just an extension of these ones, but that's what he wants, that's what he's having, mate.
Cool.
And this is the best way I can see of sort of setting it up.
Well, yeah.
I suppose we really should sort of invest in, I could make another pin to go through here like we do with the Cosies, so that is the pin that I made to go through the Cosworth, but the trouble is, it's a one-off. It's going to take longer to make the pin than it is to do that, and this works. Done it many a time, so it's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Feel free to comment away. Well, guys, end of Thursday, plodding on, really busy this week. I've actually been in the workshop flat out, Isaac and I. Haven't had Paul in for a while, but I've been really enjoying being out here, cracking right on with all the Cosworths and all the other stuff. So, yeah, I hope you're enjoying the new sort of format of the videos where Isaac and I grab the camera each and video each other. It makes it a lot easier for us, really, and it's quite enjoyable seeing what's going on with the other person. Isaac really enjoys it. But yeah, what have I been doing? A little bit of a catch-up. So this little Toyota here, that has been done for Peter. So Peter's the guy that we've got the Blackbird engine. So the deal was with us that we have the Blackbird engine off Peter. Bear in mind there is the ECU with it, there's the downpipe, everything we need all ready to go. It's fuel injected. Over here we've got the airbox, standard airbox, which is going to go on the engine. That's going to, however we have to do that, cut a hole in the bonnet or something. And in payment, what Peter actually wanted was this little Toyota engine gone through. So this is for his kit car. He wanted me to machine the pockets for the pistons. You see there, we've got 2 sets of exhaust pockets there. They were the originals, but obviously these pistons were not meant for this engine. He's got the 16-valve engine. So we've put the pockets where they should be compared to the old one. So that is the old piston there. Obviously that's a higher compression piston. And then we've got the inlet ones here, whereas originally it only had one for the middle inlet. So yeah, done that now. Waiting for the bearings tomorrow. I've rebored and refaced the block. The new com rods are there, which we've checked the size in, absolutely perfect. Give everything a good clean up. And as soon as the crank bearings arrive tomorrow, which will be Friday, I can get this thing dummy built, make sure all the clearances are right, strip it all down, and then Peter's going to come and pick it up tomorrow afternoon, and he's going back home. The head is over here as well. Isaac's stripped that out, gone through that, done all the clearances, refaced it, etc. So that's the cylinder head. That is the clutch and the flywheel, which is balanced. You can see there, not too many holes, only a couple in the clutch cover, but a few in the flywheel there. The 2 Cosworths over here, if I just go and have a little look. So this is all the Cosworth stuff for Andy, who's coming to pick this up on Monday. So we've got the spare stuff here, which is in the middle. We've got 2 sets of pistons, second-hand pistons, which are good. They've been pocketed. The crank has been ground. That was a standard crank, but it had done one end and it had actually bent the crank, so it only just cleaned up on the centre main at 10 thou. So that's been ground 0.25, 0.25. So that's your spares. Then you've got your Focus engine here, which I've kept the crank in, all torqued up, ready to go, and the same with the Escort engine. And all the bits in the bottom tubs there, we've got the gaskets and all the pistons and rods and everything sorted out. So hopefully he's happy with that. Chucked him the invoice today. So yeah, been mega busy, guys. The V8. John has sort of pretty much done the short motor now. You see that down there? That's all torqued up, the pistons in, heads have got to go on. This one here is well on the way. I'm just boring the block, got to face that in the morning, clean the block up. But Isaac, we've got to polish the crank because the crank's all perfect, but it just needs a polish. And Isaac's been cleaning bits up. I know the bench looks a bit messy, but he's actually been cleaning all the bits up, ready to reassemble. So that's a quick turnaround, that diesel, for Chris at CTS, is it? I believe, something like that. But yeah, that's where we are, guys. Haven't done a sort of update for a while on my own. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be back in on Friday, and Isaac and I will do a bit more of a video on machining. So we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Right, guys, it is now Friday, and I've been very busy. I have finished the engine for Peter. He's coming to collect that in a bit. This is a little 3-cylinder tractor engine. Obviously you can see there we've had to put new liners in this, so we pressed the old liners out, pressed new ones in, but they're a semi-finished liner. So what that means is fully finished would mean a nice slide-in fit, and you haven't got to bore it afterwards. It's all ready to go, which would be a great idea back in the day. In theory, if you could get the old ones out easy enough, you could sort of do it in the middle of a field. With this semi-finished one here, you've got to push them in. Sometimes they are a little bit bigger on the outside diameter, but they come with about 1 millimetre in the bore that you've got to take out. So I bored this, left 1.5 thou in, just honed it out. And as you can see, that is all done. Also, when you press the liners in, they usually sit a little bit proud. They go to a step, like a top hat, and they sit a little bit proud. So you just got to face the block, which we've done there. So that is another job done. Right, so just a quick one here, guys. We've got a GT750 kettle, I believe, a cylinder head for one. This is for Mark Taylor. He's gone and bought yet another one. So I think that's probably about 18 bikes that he owns. So he wanted this vapor blasted. As you can see, it's come up very, very nice. And he said, just check the face. And I said, Mark, let's just reface it if you're doing the engine. And sure enough, this thing is bent pretty bad. We're up to about 15 thou now, and it's still, you can see it still hasn't cleaned on this outer edge, so probably about 0.5 mil bent, this thing. That is quite a rare cylinder head now. And Mark is a sucker for buying these Japanese two-stroke bikes. Right, so this is the Toyota engine, guys, all done for Peter. So you can see I've left the crank in, that's all torqued up, the engine's thoroughly clean. I've left one com rod in, done all the clearances, checked everything, head's gone through, crank assembly's balanced with the clutch and flywheel, com rods, new com rods checked. Weirdly, these rods are really good for a budget rod, as I've said to you in a previous video, but 2 of the rods were a little bit tight on the small end, so we've just had to ease those out on our hone. And I have got a little list here, which I've done for Peter. So check the top ring, middle ring and bottom ring gaps. They're the gaps we've got. We were looking at about 15 thou, but as you can see, we haven't had to gap these. Very rarely on these forged pistons we have to gap the rings. They're usually bigger than what they should be anyway. Big end clearance, 1.6 thou. It's a 1.5 inch journal, so that's absolutely perfect. 1.8 thou on the mains, and it is a 1.8 inch. So that is perfect as well. And piston protrusion is 10 thou, and we normally run about 10 to 12, so that's absolutely perfect. So Peter's on his way to pick this up, and that is payment there for the Blackbird engine. So jobs are good, guys. Well, guys, it's Friday afternoon. We're nearly there, ready for the weekend. Another busy weekend for me with the kids. I hope this week, guys, you've really enjoyed the content. Obviously, you've got Isaac and I both playing a role with the camera action. See what's going on with Isaac as well, because he's pretty busy. The lad's bloody good. I haven't really had a lot of moaning, but I'm going to have a little moan today, guys. And it's only a little one. It's only a little one. It's not like a major one. And I don't want to upset people. But the reason for today's thumbnail and title is everyone ringing me out of work time, guys. I know this is mainly probably my fault because obviously I've handed out my phone number, my mobile phone number. Big mistake a lot of the time. The trouble is, most of the time I'm on the go, so don't get to grab the landline in time. Whether I've got my mobile, I've got my little earpiece in, so I can answer the phone, work while I speak. It's handy in work time. But out of work time, guys, I'm getting emails, messages, phone calls. I mean, phone calls at 9, half 9 at night. It's ridiculous, guys. I'm not, as much as I care about my customers, if there's an issue with any of the jobs that we've done, obviously no one knows more than you guys how important it is to me that I help customers out with their engines if they've got an issue. But I ain't a 24-hour call out, guys. I ain't. I don't quite know what makes people think that I am, whether it's because they sort of watch my video and think that I'm sort of working 24 hours around the clock and they think I can just grab the phone whenever and help them out. But no, the reason I'm putting it in a video is just to say to people, look, I really want to help you out. I don't mind if people message, and I can message back whenever I can, but you've got to understand out of work is out of work, guys. I've got a family, I've got to do things with the kids, etc. I'm busy at home, and it's my personal free time. You've got to have some free time. You know, that's one reason I've always maintained that I'm not working weekends really, because I can do everything in the week that I need to do. Do you know what I mean? So phone calls, forget it. Not answering out of work time anymore. Don't mind if it's sort of 15, 20 minutes maybe if I can get to answer it. But yeah, come on guys, 9, half 9, bit of a joke, innit? What do you think? Right everyone, I've been asked quite a lot now in the comments, what is going on with the Volvo outside of work, still on axle stands? So the story is with this, guys, the guy that owns it has been having a little bit of bad luck, but we've still got the issue. We haven't come to any more conclusions with this as to why it's doing it. So this, just to recap, we did the engine quite some time ago, basically lined the block. It's a 2.5 block. Before it had a 2.3, he's put a 2.5 in it, and we had to put liners in it because it had a damaged bore, a crack in the bore or something like that. So we've obviously just gone through it. We didn't put pistons in at the time because I don't think we could get pistons. He wanted to use the originals. He had one brand new original one, so we just put a set of rings in it. No problem with burning oil or anything like that, but since he's sort of run it for a very short period after, it's just been hosing water into the oil. The reason it is here is because he has put a sort of dye penetrative in the coolant, and he's run the car down here. It's obviously, since he's come down here, it's probably about 5 miles. It's emptied 2 litres of water into the oil. So it completely empties the header tank. Weirdly, if it's just sitting there in his drive, idling, it doesn't really use any water at all. It's as soon as you start picking the revs up or it's under any sort of pressure in the water system. So we got it down here. We said if the only thing we can do is with this dye in the water system is get the sump off. We'll get underneath it with the old UV light and see if we can see any major cracks, but we cannot see anything, guys. We've had the head off the thing, we've checked the head, pressure tested the head, all the rest of it. Block face looks good, liners are sealed good. So yeah, we're at a bit of a loss. The only thing he hasn't done, which I've got him to do, which really he should have done at the start, and I didn't know he didn't do it, is he hasn't even put a new oil cooler on it. He's vacuum tested the oil cooler, but in my experience, that's not really going to tell you a lot. So I've got him to get a new oil cooler. I said, put it all back together, stick a new oil cooler on it, and let's see if that changes anything. If not, I think the next step is to whip the motor out, maybe get it all to bits. He's got another block anyway, so we're going to see if we can do something there. But that is the reason, guys. It's only there because he's had a little bit of bad luck and then been round to get to do it. And every time he's sort of, the 2 times he has turned up, it's been peeing down with rain. So yeah, that's why it's there. But very shortly now, it's going to be out of the way. one of those things, really. Unfortunate. Well, thanks ever so much for watching today's video, guys. Until Monday, have a great weekend and we'll see you then. Cheers.